Okay, this is take number 3. I'm just going to keep it really real right now. I was yapping, and I didn't get to the point. I'm trying to do this quickly. I'm going to read the pamphlet, if I can hold on to it. And I'm going to see what you think. You tell me, like, what stands out to you, okay? And then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's good. Or you could be like, hey, and like that so much. I'll be like, oh, okay, it hurts my feelings, put a lot of effort into it, but I appreciate it. Just kidding. No, I want some criticism here and what you like and what maybe I could add. But it starts with 2 quotes on the front, and I chose Jane Goodall and Gandhi. 2 vegan beings, animal lovers, people lovers, environmentalists. Pretty cool people altogether. 2 people that everybody is familiar with for the most part, has heard the name. So Jane says, only if we understand will we care. Only if we care will we help. Only if we help shall we be saved. And Gandhi says, the future depends on what we do in the present. And that's short, sweet, and to the point. Hello, my name is Amanda. I designed this pamphlet to provide proven scientific facts on climate crisis and change, destruction of the planet, and the warnings we had. I provide the truth about animal agriculture with studies, reports, and statements of environmental protectors. Please learn more on these topics and take action. There have been 5 warnings issued by the IPCC Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, 1990 to 2019. Thank you for caring. Please recycle this paper. And then I go on, and this is a rough draft. I have to fix some words, so please bear with me on that. And if I'm speaking too fast, I apologize for that. I think it's a California thing, because I've heard people say, "Are you from California? You sound like it." I'm like, "How do you know? There's no accent in California." And they're like, "Yeah, there is an accent." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So everybody has a dialect. Obviously. I go in on the first sheet here, and I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to read all the way through these 3 sections. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, it looks like a lot, but it's only because it looks like a lot. From the American Institute of Physics, Climate Change Timeline. Here we go. Boom. Pick some things out. 1859, John Tyndall demonstrates that some greenhouse gases block infrared radiation and notes that changes in the concentration of the gases could bring climate change. 1956, we got Gilbert Plaese up in the house. I hope it's not Plaese. I'm saying Plaese. Okay. Well, he calculates that adding CO2 to the atmosphere will have significant effect on the radiation balance. 1956. My mom was 6 years old. My mom, she's gone now, but yeah, she was 6 years old. Isn't that interesting? So long we've known so many things. 1968. Studies suggest a possibility of collapse of the Arctic ice sheets, which will rise sea levels catastrophically. And then I go on to a personal note here. This threat was foreseen and human-made. Sadly, only now are we looking to clean energy and plant-based food systems. We have a chance to suffer less. Unfortunately, no chance with animal agriculture at large. Like most people, I didn't know our planet's land mammals are as follows. These percentages I want to print out. That's why I want to print this whole thing, because I think it will just make it look better. Even though it's from my heart, and like these numbers I got from a speech from a young woman, first name Dora, with Animal Rebellion, from reports from the UK and other scientific groups. I feel like when people see percentages and things like that handwritten, they just don't take it as seriously, especially if you're not someone that they know that you are, a physicist or a scientist or whatever. So mammals are as follows on our planet. And this is land animals. I have to also figure that out too, because I want to put a little differentiation. I don't think this might not be land and sea. This might just be mammals due to agriculture. So, and I think that's what it might be. So I got to look into it further. But anywho, it's 60% livestock, and that's including birds, 36% humans, and 4% wildlife. So I think it is all, land animals. So this isn't in the sea, but land animals, okay? And as of 2019, the giraffe is scientifically extinct. There are, I said in a video before, I think, 68,000 or so left. And that is not in the, that's in everything, in the zoos and sanctuaries and maybe sparse in the wild and whatnot. This is globally 68,000 globally, and so they are scientifically extinct, but not legally apparently. So in the middle here, boom, Business Insider reports 65 square feet of land is required for 1/4 pound of beef. 65 square feet of land. You know, that land requires the water. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry, I'll keep reading, sorry. United Poultry Concerns states the poultry industry is a major cause of environmental degradation in the U.S. In poultry factory farming, thousands of birds are crammed unnaturally into extremely small areas. Filthy ugliness and disease are the result of this unwholesome and unnatural confinement of living creatures. Sorry I had to hear that one. It's kind of sad, but luckily they're big words. The Humane Society states one of animal agriculture's greatest environmental impacts is global warming and climate change, because in nearly every step of meat, egg, and dairy, dangerous gases are released into the atmosphere. I did add fish farming there because I thought maybe some people, I had explained this yesterday, would exclude fish when they heard meat for some reason. So I'm on the fence with that. But I don't want to add to that quote because it's their quote. So yeah. Rainforest Foundation states animal agriculture destroyed up to 91% of the Amazon forest, and 1 year of eating beef destroys dyslexia kicked in. 3,432 trees. I always want to say 3,430, or I mean 4,332 or something. But do you need something?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
Okay.
Well, do you want an apple?
No.
Okay, well, just a minute and I'll be right there. So I then go on to say my own personal quote. We all know this is wrong. We do not want to do this. Like, nobody wants to do that, realistically. Some people may choose and say, I don't care, I'm just one person. But what we have to branch out and realize is that we're all thinking the same thing. Even though we're different personalities, even though we all are wanting the same thing. Okay? We all want food, shelter, and entertainment. You know, I mean, really. It's just... So we cannot base what we're doing just because we're doing a little bit of it. This is amplifying times 7 billion. This is amplified by the world. I mean, it's just, we cannot do this. I also want to stop and correct something. I may have said somewhere on a video that like 7 to 12% of the world was vegan, and that is absolutely not correct. And I swear, I'm not even going to say whose mouth I heard it out of, but I swear I heard a very popular vegan activist say that, and I'm going to double check it because I do have the dyslexia, and sometimes I, mess things up or hear things wrong. But it is less than that. It's like it's like 1%. But you know what is really cool about that actually is 1% of 7 billion is a large number. So that goes to show how a little bit of good amplifies massively, and we'll just keep it growing and keep it going and keep it going. Okay? Don't you go biting my tummy. What were you doing? Are you pinching my tummy? So we're done with the middle section. Now the last panel here on the inside. So I say, sadly, the 1968 study was correct. Only 30% of the Arctic ice sheets are left. Sorry, all over the place with my words. And still melting. We are in climate crisis. The once vast white deflector of the sun's heat is 70% gone. We will be left with deep black heat absorbing water. Okay, this is, I don't like to think of it as this, but to me it feels like a freaking microwave has just been turned on the top of our earth right there. I hope in the North Pole. Ice sheets, yeah. So, reading on, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I can't talk too much on these intelligence subjects because I'm afraid I'll say something wrong, and then I'll just no one will believe anything. But the great thing is you can just Google this stuff and you can find the facts. So don't shoot the messenger. So what we've got here is we must stop and this is my personal opinion right here, when I'm talking about the, we must stop methane, CO2, and pollution now.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop.
stop that pollution. Now.
Stop.
Everywhere we can, personally.
Stop.
Are you telling me to stop? We have lost and wasted chances in the past. We must not now. I personally think that's really riveting. And then Walter Willett, he said, I think if we really care about the world our children and grandchildren inherit, we must shift to a vegan diet. The good news is that it's not just good for, hey, don't chew your buttons. It's not just good for a healthier planet. It's healthier for us. If the button pops up, it might go down in your belly. Oh, don't chew on your button. Seriously, Mom, I was chewing on my shirt one time when I was a little girl, and the little button popped off, and I swallowed it. Never found it. And then I go on to add, I said a 5-year study, but there was and this is an error here I have to correct. There was a study in Harvard, on vegan diet and whatnot. But the 5-year study that I meant to say came from Oxford, stating that the vegan diet was most efficient. So, because I was listening to a debate the other day, and I realized I had made that boo-boo. And that's why I was like, you know what, I need to start studying, I need to write the stuff, and I need to learn it, and then, go over it again, correct my mistakes. Because, that good intention there, that good heart, you're doing the right thing, but then if you make one error, if you say one thing wrong, which I am infamous for, people will try and tear you down. But luckily, I am not the foundation of this, so that's fantastic. You can tear me down, but the move ain't gonna move. You can take me down, but you ain't gonna kill the mood. We got a world that we're fighting for today. So people come together now and change your ways. Ooh, we got a pamphlet. We're gonna share it with our friends. Ooh, pamphlet. Printing up again. Okay, so after that, we go into 3 common questions. He wants do you need a snack?
No, I'm hungry.
Do you want to have a little granola bar?
Okay.
Okay, let's get a granola bar. So I go on to say 3 common questions. Where do I get my protein? Animals, I answer. Animals are the middleman of nutrition. I go to the source. Greens, beans, grains, fruit, avocados, etc. And then, was it messy? And then I go on to say,
Messy?
I can't see.
Was it messy, Mama?
I explained
Was it
photosynthesis here. So a little step, a crucial step in photosynthesis are proteins called light harvesting complexes. When light strikes the leaf, the energy creates plant protein. That's summing up in a nutshell. And animals have protein because of plants, I say. And then the second question is, why do you take B12? And then, I'm not making fun of anybody, sorry. Most vegans do. Not all do. I've heard some people say here, no, I don't, but I mean, it's recommended by Dr. Greger, and so, But anyways, B12 is found naturally in bacteria contained in soil. And our modern sanitation of produce costs us the B12. And also fresh water. B12 is found in natural fresh water, but it's too polluted to drink. So with what we have with free range, any kind of free range animal, the poop, it's polluting the water supply and the soils, and then it's excessive, and maybe not so much the soil with the poop. I shouldn't see. Sometimes I get excited and I just go, and this, but I know it does pollute the streams and kill bacteria, and create certain allergies, and it just goes dead stream, and it's terrible. It kills that ecosystem in the water, and it leads up to killing the insects, and which affects our crop. It goes up and up. So the third question is, why did I go vegan? And I say, number 1, for all animals and their liberation. And when I say all animals, I'm not talking about the piggies and all of them sweet, lovely wonderful animals that we have taken from the wild and domesticated and bred for hundreds of years. Longer than that, but when I say hundreds of years, I'm talking about when we started back, with the Native Americans, Western man, taking over, stuff like that, so. And I went vegan too for the planet and human health. I never knew the impact of animal agriculture on the environment. As an environmentalist, the only thing I really heard was, methane from the cows, but the big thing that I learned on the side of just being an non-vegan environmentalist, I think this is really important here. Non-vegan environmentalist, I had no clue. In all the documentaries I was watching, there was no address to the animals' impact on the environment other than methane. Nothing about the destruction of ecosystems or dead zones. Now, this was a few years ago, but I was searching high and low. I mean, I was like on YouTube all the time. This was back in like 2012, I want to say. 2012 to like 2015. But anyways, I hadn't heard anything about these ocean dead zones and the grazing that was depleting native plants that were essential to the ecosystems. None of this, and let alone the suffering of the animals. So I think it was really interesting how the vegan environmental approach really addresses all of it. I feel like all the other approaches are really great, but if you are really passionate about it and you just want to grab it and take it down like the lion and the gazelle, okay, then you can, boom, go vegan and be an environmentalist, and you will be going crazy with goodness. And the third reason I went vegan was to oppose world hunger. 20,000 children a day globally die of starvation. And crop for animal agriculture could feed 12 to 15 billion people. That's the world twice. Okay. And what do we feed these animals? I don't think I have this on here. No, but what they feed, cattle, chickens, and all that, okay, is a blend of soy, grain, legumes, which are a variety of beans. All beans are legumes, okay? Pinto beans. So they feed them legumes and hay, and then they feed them on, grass. So we have a massive amount. We have 4 foods there. Soy, corn, and beans. We have 3 foods there that people are eating now that are essential foods for humans and that are the only reason why the animals have the nutrients that we need, because they're eating those foods. So we've got to cut out that, and we can then give food to starving children and the starving people. That's just children. That's not adults. So after the 3 questions, it's getting long. Bear with me. We're almost done. I say, please reach out with any questions. For help, I'm asking for no money. I myself ate meat, dairy, and eggs for 30 years. I have been on both sides. I will say only the vegan lifestyle cleared out my pre-diabetes 100%. Excuse me, it didn't clear out the burpage. Excuse me, I'm sorry I burped. Then my email's there, and I'm sorry. And then I have the IPCC reports, which I'm just going to go on ahead and spit out for you. So in 1990, world has been warming, they said. Future warming seems likely. 1995, detected, quote, signature of human-caused greenhouse effect. Warming is likely in coming century. 2001 states, quote, badly that global warming, unprecedented since the end of the last ice age, is very unlikely, with highly damaging future impacts and possible severe surprises. Effective end of debate among all but a few scientists. Effective end of debate among all but a few in 2001, folks. Oh, it goes on, and I wish it didn't. I wish it would have ended. 2007, serious effects of warming have become evident. Cost of reducing emissions would be far less than damage they will cause. Sorry, I overdid it. Far less would be far less than the damage they will cause. Let me say that again. Cost of reducing emissions would be far less than the damage they will cause. All ice is melting faster than expected. So we can now, in closing, they would almost be done reading this, and now they know almost that reiterates that 70% of the ice caps are melted. I wanted to bring this on and come on heavy with this information. Okay, and then in 2018, unfortunately, this isn't really all that accurate because we don't really know how much time we have, and it's looking like we don't have that 12 years. But it says 12 years left until no return. And then there's an international panel. I can't remember the whole name right now, but there's an international panel, and it's the IPBES. You want to get up? And as of 2019, 1 million species to go extinct. Humans not excluded. Are you ready to get down and go get a snack? Because I finished reading this. Put your legs down first. Okay. So, there you have it. That was the pamphlet. Thanks for watching. Let's go get Warren a granola bar.